Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen, all in crypto here, and welcome back, guys, for what is going to be nothing short of another jam-packed daily market update with yours truly. And as always, we have a hell of a lot to get into. We're going to be starting things off with Bitcoin's price action. It is fastly approaching 100k. Now, we gave you that pennant on the smaller time frames that would take you towards 100k. Certainly, 96, 98k was very much on the table. Out of that pattern, we're going to be looking at that. And I think this news is largely, or this movement that we're seeing is largely on the back end of news that we're getting out of China. It seems like there's been legislation passed that has now legalized the ownership of Bitcoin for Chinese citizens. China have had a lot of hostility. I mean, they banned Bitcoin on multiple occasions. It wasn't just in was it 2021 or 2020, one or the other. They've done it previously, 2017, etc., etc. And was it really ever banned? There's a debate around that. We did that mining interview with, we did an interview with a mining equipment company when we were at a Bitcoin conference, a Bitcoin Maxi conference over in Eastern Europe, and they had said, they had heard rumors that there was mining taking place in China despite the ban. So we will be addressing all that. Then Sui, a lot of people's favorite blockchain, certainly the larger channels, they all seem to sort of coordinate around certain blockchains. I don't know if there's anything there or not, just throwing that out there. Sui is down and has been down. It's now back online, but it was down. We'll look at the news as it is related to there. We'll talk about MicroStrategy and what they're doing. I think it's kind of ingenious what Michael Saylor is doing. I hate to say it because I think Michael Saylor has got some of the worst arguments for why Bitcoin in the world, but he's being validated by its price. And you can't hate on that, I'm afraid. And we'll look at the Bitcoin industrial complex as it relates to MicroStrategy, ETFs, etc., which has seen another record day. So, Bitcoin, the start of this show. We know the drill on the macro. You can see this real uptick in volume, declining volume on the pullback, an increase on the expansion. Certainly we broke out of this, and we did look at, and some of the only people to address this, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, guys, do you even care about this industry? We did look at a pennant that was ultimately going to take you to around about 97k, and we've sort of shot through that, and we're now sort of consolidating. I don't think it's much of a stretch to see us over 100k by the end of this year, certainly. Remember November, we've still got, 9 days left in November. And then, of course, we're moving into December, historically a typically good month. And I think we're going to see continuation of this. It's not just Bitcoin that's moving right now. There's many altcoins. Also, we've got the likes of the totals. They've now broken out and are on a broader trajectory. So Bitcoin very fastly approaching 100k. I do think we're going to see it. Looks like Bitcoin might get to 100k before Allincrypto as a channel, though we're very close, nearly at 97,000. So big thank you to you guys liking, commenting, and supporting this channel. And we did say we do a bit of a giveaway, but Bitcoin very much doing what it was supposed to be doing. That was all technically signal. There was a number of confluencing patterns that gave us a lot of technical confidence on Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance really at this point could do with an entirely separate video addressing the good and the bad and the ugly with it. One good takeaway from Bitcoin dominance for me is that it's yet to roll. Are we going to see it roll as historically being the case? Well, there is the argument that perhaps not, because we've got different actors and players involved. However, I do think there's going to be some sort of a rolling of it. And that's really going to signify we're seeing the first kind of real impetus moves with altcoins, but more broader moves for the altcoins. And that's, I think there's a really bullish take in regards to Bitcoin dominance strength. The bearish one, I think, is behind us, given sort of where Bitcoin's currently at. So I think this news largely is coming on the back end of China. So China clarifies personal ownership is now legal. A Shanghai court has clarified that personal ownership of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin is now legal in China. Despite this ruling, commercial activities such as token issuance and investments remain prohibited. This decision provides legal clarity amidst China's strict regulations against the crypto market and potential affecting cryptocurrencies' legal status and investor behavior in the country. And you can see these are all the usual suspects in regards to news outflows on Twitter. You've got likes of Cointelegraph, Bitcoin Cash, Lark, Coin Bureau was, I think, who I first found this out about. Obviously, you've got Simon Dixon, an OG Bitcoiner. As predicted, the final China flip-flop is here. This time, it's pro-Bitcoin, and there's no turning back. And we've spoken and we've continued to speak about an arms race as it relates to Bitcoin. I think it affects the crypto space more broadly. But are China really just going to sit by whilst a new global reserve or certainly store of value is being initiated and allow America to gain largely control of it? There's going to be an arms race, just like there was to go to the moon, or with, weapons. I don't want to go too much into that, but there's going to be one as it relates to this technology, and it doesn't just stop with Bitcoin, and we're yet to really see that altcoin arms race, but there is certainly a Bitcoin arms race taking place, which is, China are now kind of entering that race. I think we're going to see a lot more out of this. It's going to be a driver of the bull market, just like everything that's going on in the United States with Trump. We got some interesting news from the Sui ecosystem. So Sui blockchain halts block production for over an hour. A lot of the dino coins, as they've been called, have literally been running consistently non-stop for over 5, 6, 7 years now without any of this. And you've got to think, if we're going to put trillions of dollars and business operations globally around the world on these blockchains, can something like this happen? And you might say, it's only an hour. I mean, imagine if you're a supermarket and somebody's paying in USD and they can't do that for an hour. Or, you're an online shop and nobody can... You're going to... these are small examples. There are far larger of why actually this is unacceptable. And I do think this is just a bump in the road for Sui that they will overcome. I don't want to see another Solana story, and Solana's still having issues, even though I think it will do well. I think Sui will do well also, but largely because they're chosen by the right people. And of course, there is very impressive tech with Sui. I do truly believe that. But the Sui Network, a layer 1 blockchain, experienced an unexpected outage for over an hour, halting block production. Several exchanges, including Upbit, have temporarily suspended Sui transactions as the network team addresses issues with validators. This incident has drawn comparisons to the past outages in other blockchain networks like Solana, highlighting concerns over the blockchain stability. This is the service announcement from Sui themselves. Service announcement. The Sui Network is currently experiencing an outage and not processing transactions. We've identified the issue and a fix will be deployed shortly. We appreciate your patience. I will continue providing updates. It's not a good look, I'm afraid. Yeah, says it all really, doesn't it? But I think it's back online now. It's an issue. John Wood obviously commented on this. We are so early an algo. Here it is, a $34 billion market cap blockchain that doesn't work. That's not necessarily my take, but we really respect John. We think he's, or this is actually not John Wood. This is a parody account. Sort of looking at this, an interesting take from John Wood's parody, to say the truth, to say the least. Naughty that people really put parody accounts, isn't it? Then, of course, we've got news from MicroStrategy. So MicroStrategy, Bitcoin bet, profits, plans, and public opinion. MicroStrategy, led by Michael Saylor, has significantly expanded its Bitcoin investment, now holding over $15 billion in profits from its Bitcoin assets. The company's strategy involves using its rising stock price to fund further Bitcoin acquisition, creating a flywheel effect that has propelled its capitulation the past 100 billion. Capitalization past 100 billion. This process has sparked discussion on its sustainability and whether it could serve as a model for other corporations. Recently, MicroStrategy raised $2.6 billion through convertible notes to continue its Bitcoin investment. And they're just going to continue and continue. They're going to try and gobble up as much Bitcoin as possible, which is great whilst the price is going up, but perhaps not when it's going down. I think potentially one of the greatest shorts that I'm yet to make in my career, and I think we're a while off, could be MicroStrategy. Maybe. I've got lots of visions about how I think this whole crypto saga ends or ends up. And likely with some form of hostile takeover that maybe players like MicroStrategy don't get to be a part of. But we can talk about that at a later date. One thing you've got to give Saylor is he's been nothing short of right so far. And you can't hate on that at all. He's been spot on. And interestingly, on the back end of all of this, the Bitcoin industrial complex crushed their records today with a 50 billion in volume. For context, That's the same as ADV of the entire UK stock market. UK, boo. You know, all the things that are going on right now are just insane. MicroStrategy alone was 32 billion. Of it, MicroStrategy and MicroStrategy, I think it says leverage combined for 6 billion, which is more than all spot Bitcoin ETFs, which were also elevated. What a scene, you know. And people are very obviously betting big on MicroStrategy as a sort of company that's, I think, got a lot right and is probably going to continue to do well off the back end of that. I think Luna was one of the good shorts that we made before the whole catastrophe. You know, we'll see. That's it from me, ladies and gents. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. If you've enjoyed the content, like is always appreciated. So as a comment, lots going on. Let me know your thoughts on it all. Bitcoin fastly approaching 100k. China now legalizing Bitcoin once again. The Sui blockchain is outaged, or it's experiencing an outage, which is bringing questions around it. Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy continue to absolutely crush it. And the crypto or Bitcoin industrial complex as it relates to the stock market saw a record high yesterday. That's it from us. Thanks for watching. See you soon.